What's up, guys? Welcome back to part 2 of the NFL quarterback tier list. Without further ado, let's get into it. First of all, a refresher. At Elite, we had Patrick Mahomes. At Great, we had Lamar Jackson. At Good, we had Drew Brees, Derek Carr, and Kyler Murray. At Average, we had Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Teddy Bridgewater, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Drew Lock, Jared Goff, Nick Foles, Sam Darnold, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Andy Dalton, Justin Herbert, Taysom Hill, and Jimmy G. At below average, we had Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, Dwayne Haskins, Daniel Jones, and Marcus Mariota. Okay, first of all, we have Baker Mayfield. He is average. I said this about Goff in my last video, that if you're the first pick in the draft, they didn't draft you to be average. They drafted you to be a superstar. They drafted you to be elite or great. And it doesn't help when a superstar MVP quarterback was picking in the same draft and was available. And that's just adds insult to injury. But there was a lot of holes with the Browns. They were a good team. The defense is great. But if you look at that offensive line, it wasn't great. They got Jack Conklin, and especially awfully starting off with Freddie Kitchens. That was bad. That was real bad. But now they're in a good position getting Jack Conklin again. And what's his name? Stefanski. I feel that this is definitely a make or break year for him. In just his third year. If he doesn't succeed, he's never going to succeed, is my opinion. Next up, Minshew Maniac, Gardner Minshew. He's below average. DJ Chark, I think, really helped him out. It's a very good young defense, even if it's losing a lot of pieces. And it's not as good as it was just a few years ago, but it's still really good. And his mustache is incredible. But some of those games he played superb. Some of those games he played great. But some of those games he played awful. I think he's below average. I think he could be average, but I'm going to put him there. Cam Newton, Super Cam, New England Patriots. This is a tough one. He's average. He's average. He's not good. What I'm thinking is he's good, but he's not better than a lot of the quarterbacks who put in average. So I'm going to put him down in average with him. Okay. Injuries is a big problem. It shouldn't be a surprise if a player doesn't get injured. There's a higher chance of him getting injured, in my opinion, than him not getting injured. When he was on the field, he's incredible. He's absolutely incredible. They were okay with Kyle Allen, though, before the collapse that they had. And it really makes me wonder, is it him or is it the team? But the team's not that good. And they finished 6-10 with him, but 5-11 without him. And obviously, Christian McCaffrey had the MVP year. He didn't win MVP, but it was pretty darn good performance. And that's a couple problems that I just thought after he went out. They still had similar numbers, similar stats, similar everything, even without the first overall draft pick. First overall draft pick 10 years ago, so whatever. Philip Rivers. He was trash last year. Do you know how many games that the Chargers could have won, but he threw a game-losing interception? Much more than a quarterback should. Obviously, he joined the Indianapolis Colts to go above Jacoby Brissett. But I don't know that's necessarily a good move. Both of them didn't have good performances in the season. Brissett was worse, but they might start Brissett because Rivers is like 100 years old. He's a dinosaur. And he just stunk. There's no other way I can put it. Their season, I feel, would have gone much differently if they had a different starting quarterback. That is the Chargers. Aaron Rodgers. He's great. He's great. Even though he's an old man, he's still great. He's not as fast as he used to be. He's not as good as making those incredible throws. Yet he's still good at both of those things. He still is one of the better arms in the league, even though he's decreased a lot. He's still good, even after all this time. After 15-ish years, he's still good. And I don't think that Love is going to see the field anytime soon unless he gets injured. Josh Rosen. I wish I could say he was in the average tier, but his career, his failures, have been completely not his fault. Look at the team he played with, Arizona. He had the worst coach in the league at the time as his coach. The team stunk, and it really wasn't his fault. Then he gets traded, and he isn't even the starter. And he hasn't had anything to work with in his career. But people still expect him to play like maybe Baker, something like that, or Darnold. And I just don't get it. Ben Roethlisberger. He's good. He still throws a lot of passing yards. I'd like to see him without AB or a superstar wide receiver, because I'm not calling Smith-Schuster a superstar. He's good. For the first time in his career, he hasn't had a Hines Ward, AB, any of those type of guys. He's had a super supporting cast that's just going to help him. He stunk in 2005 when they won the Super Bowl. He stunk. But that team was good. Now the question is, can he win without a good team? Philip Rivers for the past few years was able to win without a good team. Is Roethlisberger? It's the question. Matt Ryan. He's still good. He's still pretty good. His MVP year, 2016, I feel like it was because Carr got injured, and that's why he won it. Carr was playing like the MVP, not him. Well, he was playing like an MVP. His team really hasn't been the same since 2018-3. He's still been great. He's still been a star, but nobody cares because 7-9. If a player has a bad team, no one's going to care, even if they're great. Unless you're really, really, really like an all-time great, like Larry Fitzgerald. Cardinals always stunk. People always thought he was a superstar. You need to be elite if you want people to know, to just recognize how good you are with an awful team. And his team isn't awful, it's okay. But 7-9 isn't really good enough to make people really, oh, did you see those Falcons? Matt Ryan's playing like an MVP. It's just not the case. Matthew Stafford. Like I just said, that you need to play elite if you want to have, if there's a bad team, to get recognized. Matt Stafford still played elite on a bad team, still played elite, but nobody cared. He's a superstar. And his whole career was wasted. His whole career was absolutely wasted by the Detroit Lions. And it just stinks. Ryan Tannehill. He's one of the main reasons. Also from Derrick Henry, he's the main reason that the Titans made the playoffs. You saw immediate improvement once he left Adam Gase, who is the worst coach in football, easily. I mean, he has the best running back in football, arguably. And he has a pretty good supporting cast. I mean, obviously, A.J. Brown is a stud. He has a good team. I don't think they should have paid him all that money, because what if the season's a fluke? What if those $88 million? What if this is all a fluke? Then what? What do? You're done. Then you just wasted that much money. You can't have that. Mitch Trubisky. Picks inaccurate his whole career. Picks inaccurate. His first year, he was bad. He was real bad. Then his second year, it looked like there might be some hope. Maybe the Bears were a good team. Third year, right back to the usual Bears. He was one of the biggest reasons that team wasn't good this year. How many picks do you think he threw? Probably a lot. I mean, it's just... he just hasn't performed. He's really talented. He was a very accurate passer in North Carolina. So what's the deal? Shouldn't he be accurate passing in the NFL? I don't get it. Tua Tagovailoa. Whatever, I'm just going to call him Tua. He's a rookie. There's a couple things I don't like about him. He's my least favorite out of all of them. I like all the quarterbacks that are drafted high, which are Burrow, Tua, and Herbert. I'm not counting Love. Herbert's my favorite. I also like Burrow, but Tua maybe just got a tad bit overrated because of Alabama success. He's short for one thing. I mean, short doesn't mean you're bad. Look at Drew Brees or Russell Wilson. But all I'm saying is that all these quarterbacks really have the same thing. Big arm can also run. The difference is Tua's got a big arm, run, but he's short. Herbert and Burrow, massive. They're tall, 6'4". Deshaun Watson. As long as they have Watson, even with Bill O'Brien completely tearing apart that team, they're still a contender. They're still a big contender because he's that good. He's that good at escaping the rush. He's that good at getting the ball away. He's that good at keeping a play alive. He succeeds. Part of the reason that he's so good is that he probably gets practice with how bad the offensive line in Houston is. He's that electrifying that even with Bill O'Brien completely dismantling this team with getting rid of Clowney, getting rid of Hopkins, they're still a contender. Carson Wentz. Look what he was playing with last year. He's great. He's big, he's strong, 6'5", massive. He's got a great arm, he's really agile. What I'm saying is that look at who he was playing with last year. Boston Scott? Greg Ward Jr.? He had nothing to work with, yet he's the reason that they went to the playoffs. He made people stars. He made Boston Scott a star. He made Greg Ward a star. He is the Eagles. They had an immediate exit in the playoffs once he was down. Once he got injured, they stunk. With that bad roster because of all the injuries, even with him, just because they had him, they were great. They were really great. And that's what I think he's great. Russell Wilson is elite. He is elite. think he should have won the MVP in my opinion last year. He's not too big. He's not too strong. He's lightning. He's mobile. And he always was underrated because how good the defense was. The second the defense got dismantled, everybody was like, oh, look at Russell Wilson. Maybe he was part of the reason they were good. Maybe it was him. Jameis Winston. Obviously, he just joined the Saints. 5,000 passing yards, incredible. 30 touchdowns. 30 passing touchdowns, that is. Incredible. 30 interceptions, not so incredible. I think that he may have had some problems with his vision. He had to get surgery on his eye, so maybe that was some of it. He didn't really, he always kept the play alive, and he would throw the ball. The second, he wouldn't throw the ball away, he wouldn't spike it or anything. The second pressure comes, he's throwing it to his receiver. That's why a lot of the times the receiver was obviously the other team. Anyway, that's my list. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.